Welcome back to the Rebel Outpost. I'm here in the headquarters, the brain center of the Rebel Outpost. My name is David, and if you don't know, I'm building a secure homestead out in the woods, not by choice, but by necessity. And I really appreciate you being here today. We're going to talk about why men are just walking away, throwing in the towel on certain things in life. Let's jump right in. But first, today's knife is the Gerber Camp MagnaCut. This is a new knife from Gerber. A lot of people like to jump on Gerber and say they make trash, but it is an American-made knife. And this right here is MagnaCut steel. Will not rust, will stay sharp. Very nice. This is new. Only comes in one color, and that's coyote brown. You can see the size of it. Good size. Good thing to have if you are camping or just a general all-purpose knife. MagnaCut is a very high-quality steel. They are not a sponsor of the channel. I just like sharing my knives with you. I will make some reviews soon on that knife. Now, back to the content. Why are men walking away, and what am I talking about? Well, a statistic the other day I saw on the internet jumped out. It was a survey done, and it said that in America, only 12% of Americans are both married and own a home. These are men. Actually, this was overall statistics. But I took that statistic, only 12% of Americans by age 30 own a home and are married. Not necessarily good, especially with declining birth rates. You couple that with the fact that women are graduating from college at a much higher rate than men and also buying homes at a much greater rate than men, and you start to see some patterns that are not good. And this whole topic not only came up from things I've been seeing on the internet, but from a conversation I had with someone close by, I'll say. We were chatting and I said, I noticed you've been home during the week and you're not up and at 'em and going to work. He said, David, let me tell you something. He said, I've been grinding hard, spending money, attempting to save. And he said, about a year ago, I just cut my costs down. He said, I got my cost of living down to nothing. And he said, I decided to take the summer off. Now, this is a younger guy, probably, I say young, probably early 40s, late 30s, somewhere in there. He said, I decided to take the summer off, work on some home projects, just get away from work for a while and spend time with my son and my wife. And I said, I like that. And so I talked to him the other day and I said, are you going to be able to go back to work in the fall? He said, man, he said, once you get out of just buying stuff and being in debt and buying new cars, he said, you realize it's a whole new way of living. And that is the thing that they don't want you to know. But look at that gentleman. He walked away from his job for a couple months, 3 or 4 months, so he could focus on his life. He just said making more and more money and spending more money on habits, activities, and the things he was doing. He said it was just a hamster wheel. So men are walking away. They're seeing that the more you make, the more they tax you. You work harder to provide for other people, and kudos to you if you do. You're a blessing to a spouse or to kids or to relatives. Absolutely provide for people. But men are walking away from the high-stress jobs where they're not appreciated. They're walking away from dating. Men are not dating at the rate they were. They're not seeking marriage at the rate they are. By 2030, they estimate that half of all men will be unmarried. It's just terrible for society, but it's men walking away. So what's the culprit of all this? What's causing this? Well, first of all, consumerism is driving people to buy more stuff. You're on social media, you or your spouse sees a vacation or a boat or a car or a bigger house and you think, I gotta have that. But what people don't think about is when you go buy a house that costs $450,000 or any price and you're paying 4, 5, 6, 7, 11% interest on that house, the real cost of that house at the end of the time you're buying it is way more than that fee that you're paying up front of $450,000. You have to compound that interest that you're paying to somebody. Read the Bible where it says that the borrower is the slave to the lender. Okay? You're a slave. The Bible says that. So if you don't want to be a slave, you don't want to be in debt. If you don't want to be in debt, you have to control your desires and wants. And that's what men are realizing. The massive psyop marketing that has been done on men and women. Women need to go to work and leave the home. Now there's dual incomes, right? But that dual income, follow me here, that dual income, it's taxed. And so who's benefiting? When a woman leaves the house, which that's her prerogative if she wants to, when she leaves her family and then daycare is raising the kids, there's a cost. And she goes to make money and that's taxed. So that dual income seems great, but someone else is raising the children most likely. And it's not, in today's world, it's not usually grandparents and it's not usually aunts and uncles and cousins. It's the daycare center, people you don't even know. So you're working to pay for daycare. And you're working to pay taxes. What is it? The first 4 or 5 months of the year, all the money goes to taxes. Once you make a certain amount, I'm not talking about people that make $15,000, $18,000 a year. You start making $55,000, $85,000, $100,000 a year. I believe they say that the first 4 months go to federal and state taxes. How can you feel good about working when they keep taking more and more and more and more from you and we're allowing it? So men are walking away from increasing their income. Men are walking away from new responsibilities, new vehicles, new mortgages, new relationships. And that is sad. That is sad. It's not a knock to those men. It's just sad that society has gotten to this point. Some of it is smart and some of it is good. Less stuff, more living, right? Going for a walk with your spouse versus necessarily going to the movie and spending $90 for a couple movie tickets, popcorn, and maybe some of these places serve drinks. So you could easily be $100 for a date night at the movies. That doesn't include dinner. Dinner's $100, and then it's $25 to drive and gas to or from the big city where you're going. And the big city now has crime. So men are just saying, why do it? I am one of those men. I am out here in the woods thinking, why would I want to be a part of a sick society? I think that family, nuclear family, is very important. And if you have a family, you're blessed. And if you're considering a family and that's what you want, go for it. Make it happen. God will provide. But the world, the federal government, those lenders, the people in control, bankers, trust me, they are quietly doing everything they can to pull the strings to get more money from you while you work hard, while they collect interest, and they sit there and put rules on you so you cannot live fully. Side note, and we'll talk about it later, in Canada, if you haven't heard, they are fining people upwards of $20-something thousand for walking in the woods. It's basically a new lockdown in Canada to prevent you from going into nature. That's exactly what it is, and it's under the guise of, oh, we can't start forest fires. We can't afford for fires to start. No, they want to disconnect you from Mother Nature. They want to disconnect you from releasing stress. They want to make it where you can't take your children or your boyfriend or girlfriend and go outside and do a healthy, free activity. This is getting worse, and it's why men are walking away from the system. Thank God they're waking up. And I don't mean they're walking away from their families. They're just walking away from responsibilities that are no longer worth taking on. We're not living in the same world as boomers. We're not living in the same world as post-World War II. We're not living in the same world we were prior to 2020, everybody. I mean, think about it. Life was so different prior to 2020. I remember there was a street and you could buy a decent house for $180,000 to $205,000. And within 2 years, those same houses were 300 plus. And now they're creeping up and they're 400 plus. In 2 years. But did your salary increase at that level? Absolutely not. Sure didn't. And go in and ask your boss for a raise to cover the cost of living. Go in, ask them. Major corporations, hospitals that are making huge surpluses are saying no. The solution is to get you and your family and your wife into debt and force you into a lifetime of slavery trying to pay it off. And they will simply say, you need to work harder or you made the decision to borrow that money. What they will never say is that there's a massive psyop, a marketing program to funnel everyone who is asleep, everyone who's not sharp-minded, everyone who doesn't have the cloak of the Lord on them and they're prayed up and they're paying attention. Their goal is to shackle you into debt and then divide you. If they can divide you away from your family, they can divide you from your community. If they can isolate you, they can crush you. I know, I've been there. It's not easy. It is not easy to go it alone. It is definitely not easy to go against the grain. And if you're watching this video up to this point, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You attempt to talk to friends or family members and you just don't have the same connection anymore. Be easy with one another because that was all by design. It was all by design to break us apart, and we have let them win. We are all being black-pilled, doom and gloom, and it's not all misplaced. So men are walking away. Men are saying enough is enough. I'll go live in the woods. I'll go live in a tent. I saw a guy on the internet. He said, I just said to heck with it. I got a tent and I went into the woods and I buy chicken and I buy rice and I'm just moving around and I'm living here. How long can he do that? I don't know. But men are sick and tired of it. And if men are not involved in the community, if men do not have ownership, how do you think they're going to feel and what do you think they're going to do in regards to that community? Are they going to volunteer? Are they going to build businesses? Are they going to pick up trash? Are they going to put down roots and help? Absolutely not. You have to have ownership. That's why so many companies, take REI or different companies, they have employee ownership that makes people feel a part of it. I believe Publix grocery stores does the same thing. Private shares of stock make you a part owner. When people have ownership, they have pride. And when they have pride, they take care of things. That's why we never buy rental cars, because there's no pride of the person driving them. The only thing that keeps a rental car good is when someone was raised right and they have morals and they understand that character is doing the right thing even when somebody's not looking. When nobody will find out what you do, you still take care of that car. You still treat that animal well. You still do the right thing behind closed doors even when you can get away with it. That's character, and that part is going away. Soft parenting is going to generate an entire generation of problem people to deal with as they come of age, and you're seeing it on the news right now. So if you're a man and you're watching this in 2025, is there any hope for you? Yes and no. The truth is there are still wonderful, good, God-fearing women who pray and who are kind and who have skills and who would love to be a part of probably your vision if your vision is to build the right kind of life. Self-reliant, loving, secure, be outside of the system, but be a part of a community. There are other women. There are still young women and older women looking for a man like that. And if you find somebody like that and you have common interests, you are blessed, but it is still difficult. So the hope you have is through hard work. The hope you have as a man is through prayer and reflection and meditation. Sit quietly with yourself. Teach yourself skills. Find somebody older. I have a B mentor who's been doing it for almost 20 years, and I constantly am learning from him. I have books, I have YouTube, but there is nothing like that human connection. Understand that as a man, your life is going to be painful, and that's okay. Life out here at the Rebel Outpost is often lonely. Sometimes it hurts. I feel like I'm behind. I take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. It is just an absolute struggle. But what's the alternative? To give up? No, men, if you think something is right, work for it. If you see somebody that needs help, work for it. If you think you should get out of the modern society, stop buying things and don't be involved in activities, the Roman circus, the arena. If you don't want to watch sports, you'd rather work. If you don't want to watch sports and you want to read, if you want to teach yourself beekeeping or you want to chop wood or you want to go ruck, whatever you want to do, go do it, and don't feel like you are odd. You are going to be on the right side of recovery when it happens. When will that be? Who knows? What's going to happen in this country? Who knows? But we can see the signs. The birth rate declining. We're not going to solve that. The world's being ripped apart through political arguing consistently. That's not coming back together. The two parties are at odds, and they've got us at odds with each other. And frankly, it's just not fun anymore. So if you're a man out there, get strong, pray, work hard. I know it's hard to get up in the face of everything that you're dealing with, but just know that there is purpose in your struggle. And if you have pain in your life or you feel alone, don't quit. Don't give up. The stuff you see on the internet of how good people are doing or they're traveling or whatever, you don't see the behind the scenes. Life is tough. You're seeing this little filmed area right here. Looks so nice, right? There's cords in the floor. There's stuff I need to work on. I need to vacuum. I got work to be done, boxes to unpack. It's not perfect and it's not supposed to be. But you decide that you're a man, you're going to provide, and whatever you want to do. And if you want to walk away and live in the woods, don't feel weird about it. Go to the woods, pray, be of good moral character, be strong, and then come back to society one day if it's better and show us what you've developed, or build something and bring it with you, or go buy land and build a place for your family, or learn a skill, or get involved in your church. Don't just go on Sundays. I'm guilty of this. I want to get plugged into a church. Actually be an active part. But as a man, if you walk away, I completely understand. It's a tough time in 2025. It really is. We got to band together. We got to stay strong. We got to keep working. Here at the Rebel Outpost, I have a lot of projects and a lot of things I don't have the skill set for. I'm going to have to learn, and it is an uphill battle, but I'm going to do it. And I appreciate your support. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Thank you for watching these videos. I believe in you. I love you guys. I'm thankful for everybody. If you feel like it, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to be on the journey with me. We'll be on this journey together. See where it takes us. I'll catch you in the next video. Stay wild. Stay free.